One DNA test destroyed my brother's life forever. 1 year ago, my doorbell rang while I was in the middle of cooking dinner. I was planning to surprise my wife, but she wasn't supposed to be home that early. I wasn't expecting anyone. So I walked to the front door and the doorbell rang again. This time louder and longer. What can this be that's so urgent? I opened the door and it was my brother. He immediately said, "I need to talk with you," while he was scratching nervously his neck. My brother would never just show up like that. So I knew something very bad had happened. He came inside and we walked to the kitchen. I asked him, "What happened?" He sat down slowly, eyes wide, like he was still trying to convince himself it was real. "Lynn is not my daughter," he said with hollow voice. "What?" I snapped, completely stunned. "How do you know?" Before I continue the story, I have to clarify that Lynn is the daughter of my brother and his wife. Lynn was born 5 years ago. I never heard any relationship problems between my brother and his wife. So you can imagine I had a brain fuck right there. Let's get back to the story. He told me that the older Lynn got, the less she looked like him. It shook his confidence, and for the first time, he began to question whether he was really her father. The doubt started eating away at him until he couldn't ignore it anymore. So he decided to take a DNA test. He collected the saliva from Lynn and himself to send to the lab. 5 weeks later, he received an email from the lab. He opened the email in his car and saw the result. Negative. After that, he drove straight to my house. He was shaken and completely lost. He did not know what he would do next. I was processing what he just told me. Lynn was everything for him, and his wife was the love of his life. His world collapsed, and you could literally see that on him. After about an hour of talking, he decided to go home. He said he needed to speak with his wife. He was a little calmer, so he felt he was ready to face her. I was waiting for my wife to come home so I could talk to her and get everything off my chest. That evening, I sent a few messages to my brother, but he didn't reply. My wife and I were still discussing the whole situation when my phone suddenly rang. It was my brother's neighbor. He told me my brother had just been arrested for assaulting his wife. She'd been taken to the hospital. My parents lived close to my brother, so they took care of Lynn. His wife was badly injured and he was in jail. We tried calling the police station, but they wouldn't tell us much. The next day, we went by the hospital, but she was in such bad shape that only immediate family were allowed to see her. After 2 days, my brother called me from prison. He asked calmly, "How are you?" "I'm in shock over what happened," I said. "I feel guilty because I could have prevented all of this, but none of that matters. What happened?" He paused for a moment. He said, "I got home and put Lynn to bed. After that, I went to talk to Emily, his wife. She denied everything and walked away. I just snapped. I lost it. After that, it's all a blur. I don't really remember anything. Just when you think that this situation can't get any crazier, you're wrong. My brother was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Emily, his wife, spent over 6 months recovering. And then, she decided to take a DNA test too. Turns out she is not the mother neither. She divorced my brother and took Lynn with her. My brother is depressed in jail, regretting his rage. Emily is now searching for her real biological child, but she doesn't want to give Lynn up. An ethical question arises very soon. Would you trade the child you raised and loved for the one that's biologically yours? Subscribe for more.